tier maker. Yeah. Yes! My chat is amazing. Check this out. I don't think we need an F tier. No, I don't even think we need E either. Let's get rid of that. So put D tier. Man, we do this right or we f it up. Cheers, guys. So this is how we're going to do it. This is Animator's critique on Marvel Rivals. I'm taking the world by storm and killing Overwatch 2. Rest in peace, Overwatch. I have no sympathy. I'm going to go through and play these one at a time. Oh, I know there's two or three costumes based on each character. And some of those characters have different animations based on that costume. So we're not going to play favorites here. I'm going to grade both of them based on that one character. And I think that's only fair. So if one's really good and one sucks, that kind of goes to the final grading of each character. So we'll try that out. You guys ready for this shit? And I will base this not on animation, but camera work and presentation. The beats, the camera work, the ending pose, kind of like the energy, the rhythm. I'm going to take all that into account when throwing these tiers up. I'm excited. It's been long overdue, but it's about time we get to this shit. Let's go. All right, Adam Warlock. All right, sweet pose. Not the best. I'm sorry, I have a Labradoodle in the back too. I can't talk over him. My Labradoodle's actually agreeing with me. He likes Adam Warlock. Shush! Not the most strongest one to start off with, but I do like the incorporation of his wizard staff right there too. I think some of the effects help him out like a good bit. The gold all in your face is not really doing it for me. But I love the effects and the hard shard out. Yeah, he's sharding out. The shoot out, I would have to give this, let's just go with the middle for now, right? You know, not amazing, yet not bad. Somewhere in the middle. And I think like the icon color matches the B tier itself too. So I don't want to be wowed all of a sudden and then see how things progress on the way up. I want to be fair. So yeah, Adam, get a B, buddy. All right, who's next? Wakanda Forever, let's see. Kind of not feeling that one. I would be expecting a little bit more Marvel. There's just like a couple of good poses, like a good squash in, but everything feels super linear. Like I feel like we start here on him. He doesn't really go anywhere on the screen, basically just stays on one side of the right side to Black Panther. I hate to like hate on you, man, but it really wasn't wowing it for me. I'm going to give you a C. Yeah, man, you didn't really move around the screen too much. You just kind of stayed on one side. So who's next? I'm really digging this. Kind of reminds me of Widowmaker. Does a nice little screen kick. Comes out for a nice dynamic angle. I love how quick and fast it is. It uses different texture of animation. Widow's pretty good looking too. That has nothing to do with my bias and judgment. Kind of think she's in the A category right there. I love the use of like dimension. She's going from left frame to right frame. She actually draws the attention down to right frame in a sweet ass power landing through here. I feel the floor even though I don't see it, and it cuts into a slick, awesome idle pose. So yeah, Widow's really taking the charge on that one. Definitely way better than what I've seen so far. Next, Hulkamaniac. He just barf on you? What is that, like super sound or something like that? He's a blocky character, but bro, get a little bit more flexible with that stuff. It's not even an appealing breakdown pose to get into where he's got. And I wouldn't tell this guy that to his face, but yeah, it's not really doing it for me. Your intro buddy's feeling a little weak. I'm gonna put you down there with D. You're green, and so was your intro buddy. Screaming, okay, but man, Hulk smash, not Hulk yell. Kind of disappointed, man. Okay, all right, so there might be room for redemption. Get another skin on Hulk. Let's check him out. It's interesting because looking at the past ones, they don't really have the amount and length of time that we're looking at this one. He has clearly a hell of a lot more beats. So I like how he smashes the shit out of us. This is a very interesting transition. This part right here, the earth comes up and then he appears. Oh, okay, there was a small little cheat pop there, but oh, that would have been so fucking slick if he came up underneath that earth pop. I think Hulk might, with these two, redeemed himself. The first one by far was a D. This one right here, I think we pulled it up to a B. Remember, I'm grading both of these together. I like this one way much more than the first one, for sure. Captain America. By the way, I'm not a big fan of this suit, but maybe the animation I might be. Let's check it out. Captain America throws his mighty shield. I like the transitions. I like when they're really thinking of how can they get from one frame to the next and not just do swipes or big cuts or something. This is the classic Captain America pose. Every other movie, comic book, you always see this. Big shield in the foreground, Captain America doing like his nice little throw in the background. Classic stuff. Then they do this cool little anime impact frame through here with a screen break, and then it comes back into his hands right there. Not gonna lie, I think that's pretty cool. You know, Captain America's always kind of been a favorite of mine. I really, really love the screen transition, so I think I'm gonna kind of give it up an A. So he's making out with Black Widow up there. Or A tier, buddy. America, fuck yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, Cloak and Dagger. Nobody knows who these two are. I know who these two are. I used to play a game called Maximum Carnage, and these two guys were actual characters that you can summon. But it's cool to see them back, and they actually got a makeover too. So we got two now, so let's take a look at this. What I really like is the cape swish over the frame, but I'm not a big fan of this swipe though. I think the way that it's swiping is a little broken. His hand turns into a foot all of a sudden. I think that's a little choppy work that they could have cleaned up big time. But yeah, like all this stuff through here. There's Dagger. Here's another like thing that's covering my POV. Here's Dagger again. And then this kind of trim shit. Pose wise, there have some moments here that are great. Transition wise, especially this part where she just kind of does a handstand and then comes to this pose. I think it's kind of so-so. This is hard, guys. Now it's getting like really hard where I might be judgmental and people are gonna throw stones at me. I gotta be honest. Posing looks cool. I might have to go with a C, just cause, man, if you're gonna do a character with a giant cape, or in this case, the name is Cloak, you got to put some love into that cloak, guys. I don't give a shit what it is. Benedict Cumberbatch. Really cool. Not basic, but small details in where they need to go. Simple, nice little, I mean, just like nice little linear beats. Bump, a bump, a bump, a bump, bump. I kind of miss the dark blue in it too. I do like the giant collar. Like giant collars are really popping out at me. They try to put a lot of emphasis on the hand animation, I know, but as far as the presentation and overall package, like I need a little bit more than, you know, just two poses and some hand gestures for this guy. Tilt and twist from this dude. And right now, the only thing that I see from this dude is just straight up blocky poses, man. Like even here too, just like straight up blocky poses, little asymmetry with one arm coming up. I get it. They're trying to let the cape and the magic do all the work, but basically, you know, and especially this hand pose too, I don't really favor. I can't really back on this one too as well. So Doctor Strange, but you know what? I'll go for a benefit of doubt. I'll give you a B. You know, just because you had some you redeemed yourself with some sweet ass cape animation. I'll keep you there for now, buddy. Who do we got next? Okay, pretty simplistic. I feel really bad like having to like put my thinking cap on because like these are pretty simple back and forth animations when it comes to these guys. All right, got some foreground animation in there too. And got some stretchy stretch. Nothing too wow. I like his character design. Looks really cool. But what I do like is a nice good screen wipe. So again, the screen wipes, they're actually paying attention to the line of action. Look how much attention they're giving to these swipes and keeping in line, making sure it's going in the foreground, stretching it in all the right places and backing it up to where it needs to go, followed by the line of leaves and stuff like that. That's how you do a screen wipe. You know, you have to pay specific attention to what the character's design looks like and how do I lead the line of action as well as your eyes going to left and right too. But again, Groot's pretty simple. I mean, I've got really nothing really to critique on his animation other than it's just a simple transition. I would say B, but you're going to go at the bottom of the B tier. Let's take it to the next one. Hawkeye. Classic pose. Okay. Not gonna lie, this spinning of the arrow did not read at all. And his forearms just kind of like lollygagging in the beginning. Okay, now I'm kind of going against my own rules. I promised I wouldn't get into too many animation details in here, but I do like the transition of him grabbing the arrow and then jumping right into the bow attack right there. And then we get a little wobble with this bow right there. I think the two posing and transitions felt a little good, but the very beginning part fell a little flat to me. I'm gonna put you, boy. People are gonna hate me. Top of C tier right now. Everything's getting real purple down here. I don't know. Maybe it's just not my color. All right, hella good or hella bad. We shall soon find out. Colors work pretty good. And again, look, nice little cape swipe. But this one's a little bit more magical because we get to work with effects somewhere through there. Cool opening pose, nice foreground transition. They don't keep her stuck in one spot. Really good profile shot, really showing off her features. Okay, props off to the animators and the concept guys who put this one together. I fucking love her posing. Her posing is fucking top notch. Presentation of how she gets from pose A to pose B is a little stiff in some areas, especially through here. You see how she's coming forward and then stopping and then smushing and then coming back through here? There's a little bit of jittering stuff that I really saw. But then when you get into these transitions, you're like, okay, feels good. And then through there, you feel that. These animators have probably been doing this for a long time. I have no doubt in my mind that they can pull off really smooth transitions. It's like you should be testing all that and looking through all this to make it feel, you know, buttery fucking smooth. Sauce hits the bricks. I was going to give her an A tier. I really was. Or maybe top B tier. But then again, Doctor Strange just got her beat because he didn't have any jitters. I don't want to put her next to Hulk. Yeah. But her posing's fucking vicious. Oh, God. I'm just going to keep you right there with the wizard. Yeah, that's just the way my mind works. In a professional scene, that shit wouldn't slide, especially in layout. This dude, please, Iron Fist seems to be all up in my feeds lately. Please don't disappoint me. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, man. I can't even begin to imagine me saying anything bad about this. Transitions feel nice. He starts off a little slow, but the timing difference is what I'm looking for, right? Camera shake, deep focal length push to a sweet ass pose and a landing pose dynamic. This guy is right up there. No question about it. This is the kind of stuff I would expect, especially in an intro. You're going to be competing with a bunch of animators for the best intro, and somebody pulls this shit out for the first or second round. That's got to be the standard of where these intros are going. Next. This is cool. I'm kind of a little disappointed that they didn't change the timing up a little bit more. I'm curious why they didn't just do like a full 360 turnaround. What are these things anyway? Are they missiles? I like the dynamic pose. The shot feels good, but I think what's not doing it for me was like these little missiles. It feels good all the way up until the end, but the very beginning kind of feels a little nah. And where are they going? Are they shooting somebody? Like, I'm trying to connect a story here. I think Iron Man has some good moments, but the missiles are kind of weak. I'm going to put him in bottom of B tier. Actually, you know what? Let's put him in the middle. I think that's a good spot for him, honestly. Right next to Hulk, you know, one part of it was weak versus the rest of it too. It's got to be a complete package. It's the total package or it's nothing at all. Okay, another Iron Man one. Holy shit, this is long. Oh, he's got the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay. It feels heavy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would expect a little bit more snappier time changing. It feels kind of like the same speed and tempo through the whole thing. The camera works really nice. The environment feels pretty dry. Tony Stark's not looking too hot, guys. I think I'm kind of sticking with where he's at right now. I wouldn't put him below Warlock, but I think just because of that, he deserves to be right next to Hulk. Dude, what's up with the original Avengers, man? All right, what do we got next? Okay, this is like the new kid on the block that's been hounding my feed. He's so cute. Gotta be honest, I did not know where to look because I'm looking at this. I thought this was kind of his shadow or silhouette, and I did not know where this came from. So I think they could have done a little bit more better with like maybe the fish was here and swimming away and Jeff pursuing. My eyes were being caught by these guys right here, thinking that it was some kind of trickery. Like here's a baby shark, but here's a ferocious shark. Pop. There's your boy that comes out. And then all of a sudden he gets cut off at the top of the screen right here. I think like in just perspective, in screen space to where they need to be in order to show direction. Jeff is cute. This is a nice little story trailer too. I'm going to give him a B just because he's Jeff, but I think he's going to be in the top tier B right there. So Jeff is right underneath Hella. It's the whole package. Camera work with the character equals a successful, display. All right, what's next? Okay. Pretty cool. Kind of like what Adam was. I thought it actually paused on my player for a second. I think they kind of hold on this pose a little too long. But this transition to this pole slam is really cool. I think they could have got really more dynamic with it, especially through here. Pumped up with that fucking dynamic, part of it too. Like I think they could have really pushed it a little further with this instead of keeping it so flat like this. Like you would think this guy would be deceiving or bringing your attention somewhere or like fading out or turning into something else or like stealing something from your eyesight or something like that. Okay, might get a top C for me. For not terrible, but then again, I think it would have a lot more potential if they really played around with his ideas. Okay, who's this? Okay, pretty simple transition. Jumps into frame, hits a pose, does a little spin out. I like the posing. I like the nice little, based off of where she's at in screen space. Because if you look at it, it's like, okay, here she is in the foreground. Cut to the beginning of the frame. She's kind of in this weird middle ugly space of where the camera stage is at. Then in 2 or 3 frames, she zooms out and then starts moving in. And that just feels really, really sloppy to me. Like I understand this is a ramp cam and we're getting that nice slow motion moment. The pose is nice. It reads well. She kind of doesn't look like she's looking at us, to be honest. But then this whole movement transition just kind of feels that same speed. So yeah, so this is like a Tony Stark effect. Nice ending, really sloppy start. Probably, I don't even know. Like I'm probably going to put you in the lower B category there. All right, this chick. I dig it. I like the photo lens squeeze, and I like how she's actually working with the camera to push out, swing around, pulls back in, and then swings back out again. The sword feels nice and heavy. This is a much more stronger one and something that actually syncs with the camera and has motivation to what she's doing. It feels really tight and really in sync with this character. I would put her in S tier. I think it's really solid. It feels really good. It just blends in very well with the timing and it ends on a good note. Magic is magical. I dig it. And I actually like the outfit too. Cool. That was actually a good one. I'm highly impressed. Okay, Magneto. Cool. This guy reminds me of my Sigma time. It's so weird. I've never seen this Magneto before. What's a Magneto? I love the dynamic angling there. I love the push in and the pull out. Only thing that kind of makes me question is this 2 pose transition. So he goes from here to this to here again. Not hating on it. They're both really cool poses, but I think it's just a little too much. I like this one. I think this is a really good solid A tier. I would give it an S tier too. They were trying to fit too many good things into a short amount of time. And for that, just take more time in order to bleed into it too. But yeah, definitely reminds me of Sigma. Like I see my idol pose that I did with him in this pose. The only thing that's different is that his arm is like this. down this way. And then you have Sigma. That's totally Sigma. All right, what do we got? Mantis. Like the posing. I think we're holding a little too long on this little charge up. And the amount of time it takes her to get into this pose is just adding on more time that we don't need to hold on to this pose. I think, in my opinion, they could actually push this pose, just like really fun. I think they could really be squeezing more in. This is a little too longer than I'd like it to go on, but this transition of her going into this last pose, this cool slow-mo shit, Matrix stuff, dig it. I love it. I think what you could do is transition her to the left as she's going. So as she's spinning, she's coming around and back to the middle like that. Kind of want to put her up here with Jeff and Hella. I think she has another one. Hang on. Fucking A, man. Mantis, you just bumped up to like top of the A class. All right, you're there. Okay, Moon Knight. There is a lot of breaking and stretching in this one, but not in a bad way. Maybe this way. This is the only one that I'm like, okay, you're holding way too long on this, guys. You start stretching right after you take an action to punch. And right now, this is feeling very weak, this last pose. But you did the opposite of what Tony Stark did. Moon Knight, I mean, bro, you kind of shat the bed with that last part. The posing looks cool. This outfit is so badass. They're utilizing the stretch in the right places. Look, stretch this one too. Stretching, only feeling the movement and cutting back. And in that one, they're just landing into it and don't even require a screen shake into it too. That's my rambling. Moon Knight, dog, like you're right in there with the B tier. You're probably right under Groot, man. Groot was short, but he didn't make mistakes. You had some moments, but you fucked up the ending, buddy. I dig it. I like it. It's pulling back and then fixing out its focal length through here, which is great. They had that small Dutch angle twist in there too, which is favoring the spinning in that direction. The only small part that I'm not liking about this is this part right here. When he goes back, dink, and then moving over to the right side, I feel that dink and everything feels smooth. I feel like they could, if they smoothen that one out too, that would be quite possibly an S tier for me. Okay, so I've made my decision. It's not S tier, but it's definitely the top of A tier for me. I like that one a lot. This is just Diva. Very Evangelion, really nice sharp angles. I like it. Only thing that kind of sticks out weird to me, the use of this pose right here. This doesn't feel quite, but I feel like they're shoving all this into the screen space. I'm not really picking up too much shape language here. And his head is in the center of the frame and his hand is covering up the head. So I think just this shot alone, I feel like could be spiced up with a little bit more visual appeal as far as his shapes are concerned. But everything else transitioning to that, the way that she's launched, the cool backflip pose feels butter, feels super butter. But other than that, Peggy Parker, I really enjoyed it. Let's say maybe bottom A tier. I dig it, but I'm sure just with a little tweaking and an upgrade, they could fix that, no problem, unless it's past a initial lock. Cutesy. So like, look, she's got the cool hand movements, but she's got the Kiriko stuff. Classic Naruto ninja shit. Camera shake in the right places, anime impact at the right place. It totally fits her character. This is like, she's a Psylocke's a ninja. Everybody knows that. They didn't give her crazy sex appeal. They revamped her outfit, which looks great, by the way. And I'm going to study this, guys. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it feels fucking awesome. And that initial impact of using her going past the camera and swiping out into this medium shot and just smoothly blending into that idol pose. She's up there. I would almost say top in the Iron Fist. Yeah, she's up there for sure. That's a good one. That's good eating. All right, Rocket. He's a floaty little bugger, isn't he? Cool. My only one critique with this, there's two. One, this transition hits really hard around. Okay, so you see how fast he's going? He stops and then starts again. The only other thing I would critique about this is, you see how everything is foreshortened? Like the gun is like literally in our face, more out to the side. Does he even have one? Quarter profile is way more appealing than this. Do you guys see that? Like, you just see how everything just shrinks up the whole time? His design's great. He looks insane. I love how the camera's transitioning and moving with him, using a ramp cam. Feel confident about putting Rocket in probably low A tier. Okay, Red Witch. Cameras actually has a purpose. It's moving with her movements. It's coming in at the right point. This is my only critique on this. I just think this pose, I would like to see more of this expression. Really get into her eyes and just have the, as you see the giant transition between super tight squeeze to pretty much establishing shot. It is a strong, good use of camera as well as animation. Scarlet Witch, hell, I'd probably put it underneath. I'd probably put it in S tier. She is crossing the bridge into S tier. So I'll give her that for sure. All right. This wow me, Spider-Man. Amaze me, buddy. Well, that wasn't amazing. Okay, Spider-Man is literally in this zone the entire time. Is it the best choice? I don't think so. But he does not break. He does not break this barrier. Damn. I'm not feeling this, guys. I'm not really feeling you, buddy. You're in there with Black Panther, my man. Kind of disappointed. Does he have another one? That can't be all. Okay, he does. This might be Spider-Man Come Home. I'm actually not quite in love with this one either. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of cool things that are happening, things that work, and some things that aren't working for me here. First off, it's hard to see he's swinging on anything because this dental floss is so thin. Look at this transition, guys. This is some bad animation. Look at this. Look, changing in screen space through here. Like, this is cool, but the one thing that I'm not really digging about this is that his arms go out, right? We're breaking screen space. And then he stays in this screen space, and then everything is breaking frame. And then this shot coming through here, it doesn't have polish. That's it. It doesn't have polish. And then the legs are like in front of me and back in front of me. You see how the legs are like, okay, here in front of Spider-Man, away from Spider-Man, back in front of Spider-Man, away from Spider-Man, pixel effects. It doesn't feel like he's pulling on, I didn't even know there were two strings till I stopped it. It doesn't feel like he's pulling on the webs. It feels like he's flying. Yeah, Spidey, fuck you, dude. You're bottom C tier, man. Okay, Squirrel Girl. All right, simple. I'll give it that. But the falling, I feel like this pose can be really enhanced. Like, you know, we really play with the angle here. Squirrel is here. Like, we're really showing this direction through here and take this shot and really push this back a little bit more. Probably put it in the middle between Moon Knight and whatchamadinky, Ice Girl. Could be better, but again, you know, it's pretty basic. It's something simple. So I think maybe like a low tier B for basic, I think is pretty good judgment on that. A lot of good posing in there. Gonna be honest, I didn't quite notice the first one. Look at this cool pose, but we barely even see this pose. Just goes from here to there. And why are we going from there from this? What the fuck is happening here? I guess what I would really like to see is maybe a little something more in the background to show off perspective and path of action, like something he's flying through. But I'm not hating it. It's pretty cool. So I'm probably gonna put it right up there with Raccoon and Jenny. Yeah, I like Star-Lord. All right, who do we got next? I'm not going to let Storm's kick-ass design, sexy-ass costume, and sweet-ass makeover biased me anyway from giving her nothing short of an A tier. Storm has got everything that I like in one frame right now. Pretty simple to the point. There was a giant hitch. We hold on this a little too long, but there is a lot of animation happening on her in the background that's really catching your eye, and it's all this beautiful stuff. Cloak was shit. This is what Cloak should have been 10 times over, but you saw that transition. That transition really hurt me right there. Storm's look is S tier. Oh, Aurora, why are you doing it? You know what? I'm going to put you in the top B tier. You belong right up there with Hella. Your designs and your poses are hella good, but you've got things in your transitions that need to be fixed. Shit. Why does it pain me to do that? We are critiquing the overall package. I should give her an A tier. Don't judge me, chat. She's A tier. Sue me. Ooh, Punisher. Dude, his legs are so tiny. Okay, like the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 drag on 3. Camera's feeling good. I like the camera transition, especially this impact shot. Like, see how it stretches right before the shot? That's really good use. That's focal length change through here too. It works really well. Nice shake at the end too. The only thing that I don't like about this is this little nod that he does. I don't know if it's him rearranging his shot or moving it left and right. Like, that doesn't feel like he's doing anything. Bitty skinny legs though. He's a Gears of War character, you know. I skip leg day all the time, you know, so I can't blame him. Basic, but in a good way. I'm gonna put him in top B tier. Yeah, I dig it. I'm just not in love with that little middle part, but other than that, I think it looks dope. All right, who's next? Thor. My voice is Thor right now. Cool. Looks like a World of Warcraft character. Okay, I'm not disappointed that they're keeping me in the middle, but bro, this is flat to camera. Like, you could definitely make this Power of Grayskull pose a hell of a lot more epic. But I like how it just keeps it into the center. It moves, it feels weighty. And they got that crazy little leg pop in there too. Did you guys see that? Leg straightens up, it bends, it comes back again through there. That quick transition, watch. Pop up, pop up, pop up. Yeah, pop spotted, exactly. It is a common enemy amongst us IK leg animators, which is 90% of us animators, or actually I should say 98.9% of us. The rest who animate FK when standing, go to hell. But yeah, that small little thing and just that pose in the high Bs, probably next to Hulk though. I think he deserves a spot in B tier. All right, Eddie, Tom Hardy, B-roll, Brock Lesnar. That roar is dope. I love it. I love the transition, and I love how they're not overdoing it. I would say if there's only one thing I can critique about this is how he enters frame. Okay, maybe it's because I'm not seeing the first 2 frames. This is more dynamic. This is flat to me. And also too, if there's another thing I'm critiquing, I'm not too big of a fan of the fingers facing forward. A giant N, you know, the whole way through. There's not like any kind of breakup. Just something a little bit more, you know, dynamic on that landing pose. But everything else coming through there, that shit is fucking solid. I love it. But yeah, everything's just kind of flat towards camera in the beginning. I think he goes up to A. There's just that one small part. Venom's an A, but he's a low A tier for me. You know, just some small things. I think we can get those poses a little bit better. Slide is good. This part, I don't really dig this pose too much. Look at this, guys. And this is why I don't dig this pose too much. Look at this arm right here. What do you see in there? Of course, everybody's looking at the metallic arm, and you should be, because that's one of Bucky's prime features. This is going through his body. And not only that, but look how this arm comes up. You see how it stays close to his gut like this? And just stays there in world space? Oh God, I don't like that. The camera work is feeling good through here. Like, I like the slide. It's pushed forced perspective. They actually bring the foot in to give it that squash and then they do that stretch. Holy shit, I wish I cheated off of this when I did Baptiste's play of the game. And I think they did this a hell of a lot better than I did. This camera transition, oh yeah. I wish I would have cheated off of this. That feels good. But then they lose it with this kind of gimpy pose right there. I'm not against the Frankenstein super soldier transition pose. So if you look at his pose right here, really cool. His foot is facing forward, right? He's moving back as the camera is moving towards him. But the problem is that we don't see his foot on the ground. So really, this doesn't feel like he's lifting off of his weight at all. The angle is angled in such a way where the leg is popping, kind of sliding into that pose. So that's why it loses a lot of its strength. Because again, when you establish this kind of energy throughout a shot, you start off strong, you get transition strong, which that hand wasn't strong. But if you fuck up the ending, if your ending is not matching that same ferocity and that same strength that you're establishing at the beginning of the shot, you ultimately destroy the entire piece. Bucky, unfortunately, not only he has one problem, but he has that weak posing problem and that transition problem too. But he has some really cool dynamic camera cuts in there that really are the highlight of the start of the show. I'm thinking I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm thinking I got to put you, I'll put you right in the middle of Hulk and Iron Man right there. I think that's a good spot for you. Wolvie, huge jacked man. And his hair changed back. Chat, are you guys seeing the resemblance here? Look at this. Hang on. Okay, right. I love the extreme close-up. I like how we got the fist, the turnaround. They're not half-assing it on the fingers too. They're actually getting that crunch. I dig it. It's pretty simple. It gets the point across. The only thing I'm not quite in love with is this landing. Like, this is cool. This dynamic is coming in. I think if you were to, Jesus Christ, look how small his head is in that hair. Coming in, I think we're taken away from like how he's coming to a sudden stop when he gets close up through here. If you were to come in with a slice, I really think like this pose. So his head's down. Okay, so his head's down here is like, I would push the shit out of this pose. His legs down here, like weapon X pose. He's like literally in an X pose. They're putting too much emphasis on the swipes. Blade, if you were to exit him from the frame, use the swipes to come in to do like the left and the right, bam, bam, and then pull out the camera to reveal him in that X pose like they did with Psylocke. Like, it would be much more effective in this area, I think, in my opinion. But I could only find one critique with it too. Yeah, I would say Wolverine's right up here with like Punisher and Jeff for me. So yeah, that's my list, guys, for the intro. Thank you for joining along with me on Marvel Rivals. This game is phenomenally great when it comes to art and display. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please let me know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And also help my animation channel out a lot. So with that said, thanks for joining me. I'm Brad for show. I'll see you guys next year. Happy holidays. Peace.